So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we are waiting on for the last member here for Daivo Esport to come on in. But in the meantime, guys, let's talk about these two teams real quick and check out what they have been up to begin with. So these two teams have already been in the same playoff bracket. Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, they never did meet each other in the playoff bracket itself. V3DDT ending up at the 13th slots, the 13th seed in Season 1 of Open Division Pacific 2020. And their opponents right now, Daivo Esports, ending up at seed number 11 of Open Division Season 1 2020. Both sides, though, unfortunately did not make it to the playoffs. If I remember correctly, it was Daivo bowing out by the 11-12 slot alongside V3DTT. So honestly, these two teams, you can say they are quite evenly matched in many regards. But in the meantime, we are just waiting on for our last players to come on in. And thank you guys for tuning on in today for our broadcast. It seems like we are going to see, for the side of V3, Osato, RRMY, Setiki Ask, Rio Chino, and Agent Sushi. And for Daivo right now, we have Nightmare, NCSM, TXQ4, Sad, 13 Oi, and Sad, we could say that Sad Boy, Hydrangea on their roster, looking to make sure that 6-member can hop on in. We will be looking to get started as soon as possible. In the meantime, guys, we were able to show earlier on our upcoming broadcast. So today we do see the V3 DDT versus Daivo Esport match, and then tomorrow we are gonna have Sabagod, Daisuke versus Akihabara and Count. All these matches are pretty hype. And I would honestly say that these matches are worth the watch to understand what's going on in the more Pacific-oriented regions of the scene. You know that Pacific scene does have a lot of these Korean teams, but hey, being able to highlight these Japanese, this Thailand team, a good way to show on up, and hopefully everything is fine for Daivo Esport. We're waiting on for confirmation, making sure that this match is not going to be a forfeit or anything like that. But it seems like our first map has already been picked. Oasis going to be our first one into this matchup. Always a good map to see. Has a lot of different features that are very familiar for these players. And at the same time, if you guys don't know the bands into this stream, into this broadcast, so that you can use the command down below. Our bands today are Soldier 76, Sombra, Winston, as well as Lucio. So this does mean that there isn't going to be any fast action whatsoever. Reinhardt could be a struggle, and we might be seeing more and more of that double shield into this one. But you can also play that Ryan composition with the Mei, of course, and play the Brig Ana instead. Still a variant that is played pretty heavily into this meta. Remember, guys, we are into the most latest patch coming in with the Archives event. Looking at the patch notes right now, I'm noticing a few things, such as the Batiste changes, allowing Batiste to be a lot faster and more self-sustained. Might help it out. Diva, though, still gonna be a high play rate, even with that cooldown up 1 second. And maybe the Mei, the Icewall cooldown, forcing them to be a lot more creative, a lot more safe in their actions. Beyond that, a few Orisa, Sigma, and Soldier 76 and Sombra buffs right now. Unfortunately for Soldier and Sombra, they are not in the hero pool that we can actually see, so no action right there. It seems like the only one we're waiting on right now is McRae, struggling actually to get into the lobby, making sure that ping is fine and dandy. Beyond that, guys, seems like Windows. Hey, Windows, leave me alone today. Leave me alone today. We're just trying to see how long this is gonna take. Hopefully we don't see forfeits. Hopefully we don't see this match just tumble on down. And as far as I remember, they can withdraw a map if need be, just to make sure that they can play it out. But this will really hurt the chances of Daivo to make it to the playoffs right now if they are unable to compete as in this meta, as in this stage of the playoffs itself, of the upcoming playoffs rather. They are going to be able to only have 12 slots from Open Division. The bottom 4 of the most recent Pacific Trials are going to take those 4 slots up above, and those, if I remember correctly, are Fearless Gaming, Savior Esports, NNT, Kingdom, and Cero. So those guys are already taking those slots, looking to make sure that they can bet back into contenders. It is 10 minutes already, so we are going to have some questions here for Daivo Esport, if they are going to be able to make it, if we are going to get a matchup itself. So by now, I'm just talking right now. I'm just conversing with y'all who what's the plan is gonna be here for Daivo. But V3 DDT, they have been so stable in so many ways. They have always been ready for action. They have been on a tear, honestly, in this open division. And let's look at the score real quick. If I remember correctly, V3 DDT as well as Daivo at the top of the rankings. Where are they right now? V3 is at a 2-2 actually, with a pretty high OMW. Daivo as well, 2-2, which is unfortunate that they have lost some earlier matches, making it so difficult for them to try and climb. So every match really counts. In the meantime, for tomorrow's game, it is the 3-1-3-1 of Cybergod and Akihabara. So yeah, we have our captains just trying to confirm with one another that where is the last member to make sure that we are going to be on time, on the rules, and everything will go in the proper manner here for Daivo. Which is still, as I say, it's heartbreaking, especially if we're really hyped with the matchup and it doesn't really pan out, doesn't actually show on up well. It happens. You guys are coming in from a different time zone as the Asian region. We will have a broadcast as well tomorrow. As we said, the Sabagod versus Akihabara matchup is gonna go underway same time, 8 p.m. GMT +8. But I'm really excited to be bringing in some open division action to you all. It's always fun to make sure that the tier 3 scene does get the notice it deserves. And by this point in time, we are just sticking on with the time. Hopefully, Daivo can figure things out between their members. And let's look at the rulebook real quick. How does it go? What happens? Forfeits and no-shows. If I remember correctly, you can forfeit the match 0-3. Beyond that, you know, trying to figure out how long. There are some delays. If there are delays, they can actually ask the admin for some extra time. Usually that means that the map is not gonna be played. Basically, it will go automatically to the score line of the team that is complete. So yeah, we are just hoping that this is gonna go good here for Daivo, because I do see one of their members online. Their last member is online. Unfortunately, it seems like there really are issues right now with that network connectivity. Beyond that, so many issues right now in the world itself. But hey, that's what's happening right now. Hopefully, we can just enjoy our time with Overwatch. Hopefully, enjoy our time in the T3 scene, and we do get the action coming our way. So by this point in time, we are going to take a little break. As soon as our last member for Daivo comes, it seems like he is confirmed to be entering the game. We will go immediately into the action. Oasis is going to come for you guys very, very soon. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back, guys, and it seems like we are going to be getting started with game number 2, and it is going to be Velaray hopping on in here instead of McCray. So just for confirmation's sake, guys, here you go with our maps, as unfortunately since Daivo was late to come on in, V3 automatically wins Oasis, but now Kings Row gonna be their pick. V3 going for a pick of the side, and it seems like we are gonna get underway with map number 2 already. Gonna be a quick one here and now. Daivo gonna be on that first attack. V3 DiabloDeathTouch on the defense. And we'll see what's going to be happening here and now into our matchup, as it's time to go into game number 2 in this best of 5 OD Pacific coming your way. So welcome, guys, to our first game, but this is actually the second game in this series. We are just waiting on right now, looking to make sure that everything is going to be fine and dandy. And let's get into this one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our OD Pacific Season 2 Round 5 broadcast. I'm your host, Daks. And right here, right now, we are going to see the double shield here from V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Pretty much as expected. Without that Reinhardt, it's going to be Zen Batiste as well into the fray. Playing the Batiste right now, making sure that those new buffs going to be on good, on great. And Hanzo as well as the Mei. Pretty stable DPS bomb position picks here for V3 DDT. In the meantime, without that Lucio, without the dive, they are going to go for a Rein Zarya here for the side of Daivo Esport. Velaray going to be hopping on in. In the meantime, NCSM actually onto the Zenyatta. Could expect the Brigitte here for the slow kind of push. Maybe they have a plan in store for their opposition. It looks like it is a little bit of shield break here and now here for the red hand side of Daivo Esport. They are going to use that Hans to make quick work of the Orisa and the Sigma shields. But at the same time, good positioning here and now from RMY Ask, playing an old school meta here. Sigma on the high ground, making sure that he can protect those flanks, protect the high ground against the opposition, drop on down when need be. Masato though in the meantime, brawling as much as possible, staying on payload, staying on the points right now. Unfortunately, no Lucio into any of these matches for the weekend, guys. But by this point in time, Nightmare gonna get already discorded up, trying to get away from Satuki. The Zenyatta staying by the corner right here, right now. And I-field to protect Osato, Ace and Shusi going for the clutch, but Nightmare actually getting the frag onto that I-field. But on the opposite end, it's 3 kills on the board here and now for V3 DDT. They find the brawl, they find the fight, they bring the opposition to them. And in the end, NCSM, Sad Boy, as well as TXQ4 all running on in. Velaray gonna swap things over. Onto the Diva we go. And seems like we are gonna go for a faster methodology here for Daivo Esport. It's all about the aggressive dive right here, right now. Unfortunately, no Winston means they will have to make do with the Diva in the first place. If you are, guys, just tuning on in, the first map did go over to V3 DDT through the forfeits, but Daivo Esport now fully complete and ready to go for the pounce. We'll see though if Daivo can actually put up a fight in this situation, as Asian Sushi ready with this Amp Matrix right now, looking to keep the top up one. They're holding the corner strong here for V3 DDT. They're making sure that they are protecting that Orisa by the telephone pole. And now Ryochino finding Velaray. Can they get D-Mech? Yes, they do. D-Mech right now onto the field. The Baby Diva gonna be looking to play that DPS in this instance, with Ryochino ready with the Blizzard, and Satuki getting onto the board. Here comes RMO right now, dropping on down. The Baby Diva taking the brunt of damage there. TXQ4 also falling. And with 2 kills on the board here for the Hanzo, V3 DiabloDeathTouch looking nigh unstoppable into this match. Welcome, guys, to our Open Division broadcast. This is the first game we're broadcasting, but this is already game number 2. Dude, 2 through 2. Knowing how words work, Ace and Shushi, though, showing that he is the master of the culinary master of just getting these frags from all around STSM, unfortunately getting picked off. And it seems like the composition here for Daivo Esport not really working out. I've heard that the double barrier is back into the specific meta, especially with the hero pools on both competitive as well as the Overwatch League. Unfortunately though, due to the cancellations, we didn't see it at Tier 1. But hey, it's gonna be a trans here now from Satuki as well as NCSM. Asto trying to go for the Flux, and Ryochino with the Blizzard onto the points. But Daivo Esport getting frags on the board. Satuki able to outclass NCSM. Nightmare in the meantime trying to hop onto the head of the Hanzo. And then back to the point we go. Osato getting taken down. Satuki though, an absolute ninja there, dropping on to get the frags all over. But beyond that, Daivo Esport, 1 minute left. able to get the first stick. Will it be enough for them to go all the way and get the capture? It seems like Ask wants to contest the D.Va, trying to hop on in. Daivo Esport finally getting the objective. And with 3:08 on the clock, still a decent time back, but they won't have as much space they would like in terms of their time. So Satsuki finding Nightmare yet again. The Zenyatta right now has been unstoppable at getting frags, honestly. Surprising everyone with a drop on down there by the tail end. And everyone says the Zenyatta the best flanker because he has no footsteps whatsoever. By this point in time though, here comes Az right now flying into the field. And Ace Sushi with that eye field with the App Matrix as well, trying to get some damage done. Belleray though with a self-destruct in front. And a zoning ultimate there from the D.Va, allowing Daivo Esport the space they need to work with. Ryuchino though bouncing around the Tracer right now, contesting as much as he can. At the end though, Belleray showing her stuff. An impressive effort here from the last minute addition for Daivo Esports. Unfortunately, McCray having a lot of issues right now, but Belleray stepping up to the table and doing so much work on her comfort picks. Still though, TXQ4 ready with this Nano Boost. Sad Boy in the meantime on the Tracer. Pulse Bomb at the ready. Daivo Esport now trying to take control of all the different grounds into this game. As by this point in time, Sleep Dart being attempted doesn't get too much. Ask in the meantime, rolling against that Tracer. And the Hulk connecting on the 3, trying to make sure the backline is going to be taking damage there. How will his auto respond though? The Supercharger going to be the initiating point here and now for the blue hand side. V3, DiabloDeathTouch gets a grab on the Belleray. And that is going to be the Baby D.Va to the corner. Gonna get bullied to impunity. Ryuchino with the takedown there. Ask in the meantime, taking a nap. And here comes Hydrangea, just swooping on in. Nightmare in the meantime, getting the Nano Boost on. The Dragon Blade, absolutely amplified. And NCSM with the offensive trance as well. They still need to deal with the self-destruct in behind. TXQ4 unable to hide behind that payload. And this is looking like V3 DDT can be able to hold here. Evening up the numbers so far. Ask in the meantime, going to the high ground. NCSM and RRMY trading blows. The only one left for Belleray, gonna get the mech. Apparently, the Wrecking Ball as well as Sad Boy still into the fray. And Daivo Esport with a desperate endeavor to try and take this away from V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Ace Sushi those hopping over to the Brigitte, making sure that there is a way to put a stop to the Tracer, to the Wrecking Ball, and all the antics of Daivo Esport. And the Thai squad forced back on that by this point. Looking for the slow reset, making sure that they are in position still to try and get a pick off or two. And with the Pulse Bomb at the ready here for the Tracer. Sad Boy waiting on the left-hand side. Unfortunately, we do get a disconnection yet again. Oh, that's a huge DC here for Daivo Esports. And oh my god, that is so unfortunate right now. They were actually doing pretty well by the tail end there. But 3 disconnects from the Thai squad. Just so painful. And hopefully we can get them back into this one, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, we can get back into the action because Daivo already had to forfeit 1 map due to their internet issues. We are still waiting on what the plan is going to be, especially for Nightmare and CSM as well as Sad Boy. But I feel like in this issue, it really is the internet of the Thailand region putting such a big bane, unfortunately, on Daivo Esports. They are playing a dive right now, and V3 DiabloDeathTouch has done a magnanimous job to come back, especially swap over to that Brigitte to slow things down. I love the adjustments here from V3. They were able to contest by the tail end of that second point as soon as their S-bend corner defense did not work out whatsoever. Daivo Esport now, with 34 seconds remaining in the time bank, will have to decide what to do, especially after 3 of their ultimates gonna get reset on the progress. It really just goes to show though that Daivo Esport is trying to play as a unit even in the times of the NCOV disease. Basically, it's just such commitment here from Daivo right now to try and work things out. But luckily for V3 DiabloDeathTouch, they have been very stable in not only in-game but also out of it. Have been ready since the timer on Open Division has been ticking. And Daivo Esport right now, they do have the Pulse Bomb available. In the meantime, V3 DiabloDeathTouch gonna have the they will have that Deadeye ready to go. We are now seeing the reconnections here for Daivo Esport. 1 back, 2 still remaining. And it's like dominoes tipping on over here for Daivo Esport, but someone has already pulled the trigger before the whole track is actually set on up to begin with. Anyway though guys, I'm just happy to be back casting some Open Division Pacific. Hopefully we are going to be able to do this as well next weekend. I do need to send this computer over for repairs though, unfortunately, because of some display issues. But hey, that's how life goes sometimes. And speaking of life here, V3 DiabloDeathTouch can still have that Orisa and the D.Va in the fray. So they went over for that D.Va to allow Ass to contest that high ground, to contest anyone getting in the face of their backline. And honestly, the D.Va is such a good hero for the peel, for the disengage, making sure that everyone is going to be saved by the bell, by the ding-a-ling-a-dings. And hey, if you can increase your APM that way, make sure that you can do so. Now Daivo getting 2 back, 1 more remaining. Valorant back into the fray. But without their main tank, it's going to be very difficult for Daivo Esport right now to set things up. They did use the mines earlier on, so Daivo might actually swap things over to a different composition due to the fact that their ult economy has been completely withdrawn to begin with. And anyway guys, it has been a solid bout so far. Daivo Esport was very close to getting full held, but by the tail end, able to just eke it out, go for some very mechanically inclined brawls. And it was all about trying to get the frag on. They were able to do so at penultimate times, even with the threat that is the ninja of the Zenyatta, Seteki, coming on from the shadows, surprising everyone with his orbs of destruction to begin with. Anyway though guys, let me know what you think about this matchup right now, as well as what's going on in the Open Division scene in the Pacific region. Of course, just trying to find a home, especially in the T3 area. But hey, hopefully we can do, like we can just cover it all the way to playoffs and maybe give it some more credence that it truly deserves. And finally, Daivo Esport all back and ready to go. Making sure that both teams are ready for the action. Daivo ready to go into the fray. V3 as well, going good, going great. And now, let's go back into the streets of Kings Road. 34 seconds here for Daivo Esports. Let's get back into the action.
Hi, let's get this thing moving.
So welcome back, guys. And here we go with a double shield, actually. No, Hydrangea gonna be on the Orisa, but it's Valorant moving back to that D.Va. It seems like Daivo Esports knows that they have to be desperate to win this contest. Have to touch that payload, make sure that it's gonna be all fine and dandy. DX24 onto the Brigitte we go. And we were thinking about this earlier on, the Brig and the Ana together. But this time it's actually the Brig and the Zen here for both sides. With 10 seconds left. Here comes Daivo Esport. They get the touch on as the payload does retreat backwards. In the meantime, Nightmare out in front, gonna get packed down by RMY. But that looks like it was Sadboy trying to go for a pickoff point for the full spawn there. Unfortunately, TXQ4 trying to go for the shield bash, doesn't get it in time. And Snowball comes online, NCSM frozen on up. And a clean, quick, and an easy approach there from V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Apparently a cold reception is all they needed to hold this corner. And now that's the winter wrap up there. V3 DiabloDeathTouch gonna be on the attack. But Daivo Esport, with all these issues happening on their team, are pretty much putting up a solid fight in all things considered. But hey, it's time for V3 DiabloDeathTouch to try and make it to that second point. We'll see if they can actually go on through, get past this first objective, and push that payload near the end of that second marker. Musato, RMY, Seteki, Ass, Ryuchino, and Ace Sushi looking good, looking great. Especially that Zenyatta has been so surprising in terms of those frags. It truly looks like that V3 DiabloDeathTouch is ready for a system like this. They're back to their double shield, they're back to trying to do as much damage as possible as well. With the Hanzo, with the Batiste. There you go, Diana, potentially a opportunity here. In the meantime though, it seems like a few swaps are in order here for the red hand side. And it is going to be Valorant onto the Ana and CSM onto the Sigma. I'm not too sure right now what's going on with the action, but hey, we're making sure that everything is going to be fine and dandy. We're looking at the roadbook as well. Hopefully everything is good, is doing great right now. But NCSM, they're looking to step on up yet again with this Sigma now in front. In the meantime, Valorant on that Ana, going for the top up as much as possible. Yes. Dishonor staying on this high ground right now. Nightmare in the meantime just scored it on up as well. And Sato and Ask trying to find their push, trying to find a way to actually cascade on with the shields. Now here we go with the halts on the Hydrangea. Sato gonna get the will down, will lead to a takedown. And V3 DiabloDeathTouch with 2 frags on the board, looking really cool, calm, and collected onto the objective already. There we go with the Sonic Arrow, RMY trying to make sure that all of the action is spotted. And TXQ4 gonna be the target there, but Sadboy has turned it open. Does get 2 frags on the board. Velaray getting the kill as well. In the meantime, the McCree in no man's land. And can Daivo Esport still contest? That's the real question. Here comes the dash on in, courtesy of Nightmare. Shots now keeping on coming. The McCree gonna get pocketed up, and Sadboy gonna get the kill there. 2 frags on the board. By this point in time, it's Osato getting the kill in behind. But overall, this is gonna be Daivo Esports giving up 2 ticks, but is able to come on back here. Anyway, though, the Sigma shield set on up yet again. By this point in time, Ask gonna go to that high ground. It seems like the Sigma wanting to contest the opposing Sigma in this scenario. And the shots now keeping on coming. Accretion actually gonna connect onto Ask. In the meantime, Nightmare looking to charge up that Dragon Blade. Velaray ready with the Nano Boost already. And it's time to fiddle up into the air, flying like an eagle, soaring through the skies. Nightmare gonna get 1. Setaki going down there. 2 frags on the board. Nightmare with that double kill. And overall, 2 ultimates for the price of a push, getting pushed back. Just looking to hear Daivo Esports. This is what we were talking about. If Daivo comes back in full force and is able to figure out what they wanted to into this game, going over to the double shield as well, a very stable opportunity here for Daivo Esport to come back with the Orisa and the Sigma. I could say both teams very familiar with this playstyle, have been playing by the tail end of 2019 with pretty much similar rosters. And now TXQ4 with a Valkyrie. Might be a little too early there. Might have been a misclick, unfortunately. And will Daivo Esport pay the price for their mistakes? That's the real question here. As here comes Setaki right now. To the high ground goes yet again. The Zenyatta trying to get the burst on. The Orbs of Destruction tossed over to the other side. And here comes the Dragon Strike as well. The Hanzo trying to make a path open. Hydrangea retreating, Supercharger is available, and the shield play online. Osato though, as well as Asian Sushi with a good setup. And will the Apex be enough to go for the damage against the opposition? Nightmare though with that deflect, gonna get taken down by RMY, and V3 DiabloDeathTouch has overrun the opposition. It's gonna be enough for them to wipe the floor against their opponents, and a team kill by the tail end there. That is gonna be the Japanese squad, making sure that they have this first objective in the bag. So in the meantime, check out just the opportunities created by Asian Sushi as well as Osato. They were able to stabilize onto the corner, and Ask just bullying the opposition out in the front. B3, DiabloDeathTouch right now, looking solid into this push. 3 minutes on the clock. Gonna be still a similar time bank as earlier on. In the meantime, it seems like Ask gonna be out in front. They do have the Blizzard as well as that Transcendence. A lot of opportunity into this one. On behind though, Nightmare right now. Nana boosted up, 2 frags on the board. High field is there as well. Nightmare now gonna get 3. Overall, this is gonna be the red hand side, putting us top to the opposition yet again. With condition here for Daivo Esports, that Nano Blade, and every single time, it has never failed on them before. King's Row. Pretty much an even fight between these 2 teams. Nightmare right now retreating into the loving arms of his comrades. Still though, Daivo Esport, a lot of work cut out for them. Shield now set on up. Hydrangea looking to be strong with that Orisa. And here comes the Flux, actually successfully channeled. Gonna be landing on down 3, but RMY and Osato getting frags on back already. V3 DiabloDeathTouch finding numbers in their favor, tearing everyone apart by that payload. And it seems like Daivo Esport just sneaking around, making sure that they can find a casualty or 2. Setaki gonna be that one. Unfortunately, the Anma, the Grandma, just a little too noisy for her own good. Not really the best flanker here. Velaray taking an arrow to the chest. And the Ana forced to use the buy grenade early. Ability being forced out already here by RMY. Can he actually get a lucky headshot or 2? That's the real question. As anyway, the Dragon Strike available here. Osato in the meantime is gonna be waiting on. And here comes the Amp Matrix set on up by Asian Sushi. Last ditch effort here and now for Daivo Esport. They are gonna try to go for that Deadeye. They catch out Ryuchino, even with the Ice Wall set on up. And this might hurt the chances of V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Now though, they are looking to stabilize the Orisa and the Sigma out in front. Focus fire onto the tank line there. And Hydrangea with a supercharger as well. The back line though of V3 DDT untouched by this point. But the disengage is called. And Daivo Esports holding the line. Impressive effort here, coming on back. So close, but Ryuchino getting picked off what really tore apart this offense. With a minute left, Daivo Esports gonna be coming close to their Nano Blade yet again. By this point in time, V3 DiabloDeathTouch should be expecting it. They haven't seen it as of yet into this corner. And we'll see if Daivo Esport can stall it out to go for the coup de grace, the killing blow into this matchup. All about making sure that there is going to be no second push here. Daivo Esport though, gonna try to go for it already. And 1, 2 down! The backline decimated by the chopping of the heads, executing on the spot. Tipula is there! But very impressively done as well by V3 DiabloDeathTouch. They all died in similar areas. This does mean they are going to come back as 6. And Osato moving over to the Reinhardt. It's going to be a charge to remember here from V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Ace Sushi though onto the Batiste he goes. Amp Matrix online. We'll see if it's going to be enough, especially for RMY. Can he tear things apart? Here comes V3. They're going to come close to that payload. They get the pin onto Hydra Gaia. And an added boost online here for Osato. Pretty clutch there from Sadaki. IPL set up in front. Ryuchino now with the Blizzard to remember yet again. And gets a frost onto Hydra Gaia. The Orisa trying to disengage, but it's just not going to happen. Beautiful swaps here from the Japanese squad. And this is looking like V3 DiabloDeathTouch is going to be able to mop up. The deflect doesn't happen for Nightmare, and V3 gonna have an open space to go to that payload, to go to the objective, and the ice wall just to seal the deal. Well played there to both sides, but hey, Daivo Esport unfortunately cannot defend that. It's V3 taking map number 2. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. They take that map 2-1. Very well deserved by V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Able to clutch it out by the tail end. It was looking really dicey here for both sides, but hey, V3 DiabloDeathTouch able to make it happen. And right now, guys, we are waiting on for what map number 3 is gonna be. But there you go, results so far into this match. Oasis 1 through forfeit, but Daivo coming on back to actually compete. But overall, still, it is V3 DiabloDeathTouch able to show on up, able to show what they can do into this matchup. So our third map, of course, is going to be the Escort type. We'll see what Daivo Esport is going to be picking into this one. But it has been an impressive effort for Daivo Esport, even with all the issues abound. It seems like Junkertown going to be in order instead. And what is the call here? Will the side of V3 DiabloDeathTouch actually go on the attack, or will they be defending first yet again? That's gonna be the real question here and now. Junkertown, of course, a map to remember, especially with snipers. We're gonna be expecting the Sigma as well into the field. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a solid romp so far. Hopefully we can go on longer, and we'll see if Daivo Esport can actually try and make it a reverse sweep. Anything can happen, especially in the open division. And seems like V3 gonna be going on that defense first. Map pool gonna be in order here and now. Junkertown is coming our way. And hey, the Australian Outback gonna be a solid place to actually play on in the first place. I can't wait to see what the two teams are gonna be bringing to the table. And oh, Daivo Esport might actually go for a substitution. We'll see what the plan is going to be here for the Thai squad so far. They are waiting on, trying to make sure that confirmation is there. And oh, we do see a swap, never mind. V3 going to be on the attack first, actually. They have decided to change their mind as Daivo Esports. Yeah, there you go. Confirmed there. Osato gonna be saying, hey, we're gonna go on the attack first. We're gonna show you guys how it's done. And hopefully we can go for that full capture. Maybe V3 DiabloDeathTouch also making to look that they can actually have some playtime onto full maps instead of just a part of it. But it was really a even matchup there on King's Row. You could say that it could have gone Daivo's way, it could have gone V3's way. And in the end, it seems like the Japanese squad, with less of the issues, with less of the problems, really coming out, eking it in a close one. But still a lot of hope here for Daivo. They have shown that even in the face of adversity, even in the face of issues, they're still really competing to begin with. Yeah, we are just waiting on right now how this is going to be. And hey, Overwatch is a solid endeavor. Subtitles option in Overwatch is now expanded. I don't really know what to do with that, man. I don't even know what to do with that. No need it for a broadcast. That's for sure. Like, I don't. Is it actually on any broadcast around the scene? I know right now that Reflash Productions is doing an EMEA broadcast as well. So if you guys want to check out that region, you should check it out. It has two casters, Ollie Manser, and I forgot the name of the other guy. But hey, they are really showing that they have a good handle on the scene, and I do enjoy it, especially while I was waiting for the downtime, especially as map 1 wasn't happening in the first place. So yeah, Daivo Esport gonna go for a substitution real quick, and in the meantime, as we're waiting on for their 6th player, no, it's Hydrangea coming on back. I guess they just needed to go for a reconnect. And never mind, we are gonna go into game number 3 already. Junkertown yet again. There you go with the results. And it's time to get into the action. It's time to get into the fun, into the fray, into the fights. Nightmare, NCSM, TXQ4, Velaray, Sadboy, and Hydrangea versus Osato, RRMY, Satoki, Ask, Ryochin, and Ace and Sushi. So far, guys, who do you think has been the best player for both sides? I could say here for V3, Satoki is someone to keep an eye out, especially with his Zenyatta, as has been able to bully as well with his off-tank. For the side of V3, DiabloDeathTouch, but on Daivo's end, right now, they were struggling with playing not double shield. It seems like there was a lot more success for them as soon as they moved over to the Orisa Sigma. And Junkertown is a map that they can actually do it on in the first place. It's a map that they can play the Orisa on the payload, the Sigma going around with the snipers, making sure the Widowmaker is actually protected, but he's going to be a good pick as well, going for that long-range action alongside Diana perhaps. Maybe we'll see the Brig though. On that first point, on the second, there are corners, there are really areas of Junkertown where they can go for the chokehold, where they can punish anyone coming on in. We'll only be able to confirm all these theories right now if we get the match going underway. V3 DiabloDeathTouch now waiting for the rest of the teams in the first place. I knew the subtitles. It's interesting. I like that. The subtitles, I don't like the fact that it shows up down below. It's a little too much to begin with. It really does block some of the view, and I don't think it works with the overlay well. But hey, it's what I think, and since it's my prod, I do just want to keep it as minimal as possible in the first place. But I've seen a lot of players actually put it on because it really helps with the audio cues, especially if you don't memorize what some of the sound lines are from casting though. I've been able to really read what comes in the first place. But hey, it's time to get into Junkertown. We are going to be getting into the action. V3 DiabloDeathTouch on that first attack. And Daivo Esport going to be defending here. It's time to go into the Australian back. And it's time to get into the matchup. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to get into the match. We got Nightmare, NCSM, TXQ4, Velaray, Sadboy, and Hydrangea. Gonna be whipping out that double shield as we expected. Mercy on it though for TXQ4 and Velaray. Interesting they actually go for the Mercy, no Batiste whatsoever here for the blue hand side. Sadboy gonna be looking to show his stuff with the Widowmaker. And Nightmare right now gonna be playing on the Genji instead. On the flip side though, it's Osato and Ass playing that double shield. We're gonna make sure everything is gonna be fine and dandy for their DPS line. And actually, it's gonna be a full mirror here for both sides. Genji for Ryochin versus Nightmare. No Hanzo whatsoever, no Ashe actually on either side, interesting enough. So it seems like V3 was thinking about, hey, if the Nano Blade was so successful for them, maybe we can do the same. Ace and Sushi though, trying to decide if he's gonna go for the Brig. And here comes the Shield Bearer. It's gonna be a small little stout shield here for our little scouts. In the meantime, Ask gonna be playing that Sigma all around, setting things up on the high ground. Daivo Esport though will be looking to play by the shanties. And Ryochin gonna be hopping around the map. A very, very backwards defense here for Daivo Esport. They are playing into the buildings, making sure that they can contest in CQC. But they do have that Mercy, so it really is going to be a little difficult for them for that top up, the HPS in this scenario with a Brig in. So on the other side, the real question right now, can Daivo Esport actually sustain their efforts? As shots now ringing into the sides, RRMY. Look to find an opportunity to get the scope on Sad Boy in the meantime, as well as Velaray trying to play the flanks. And here we go with the stun. Ace and Sushi gets in the face of the Spider. Sad Boy going down there. Here we go though with the repair pack on Ryochino, throwing a few shurikens along the way. Hydron Geia trying to find an opportunity here, setting things up for the rest of the team, but Daivo Esport already getting overrun into this instance. Osato, Ryochino, frags on the board, NCSM though coming on back with one. We have seen NCSM truly come back onto the off-tank role. A while ago, he and Velaray swaps in terms of those roles, and it hasn't really panned out as well as it should here for Daivo Esports. The first point gonna get captured here by V3 DiabloDeathTouch, that Brigitte making all the difference, as Daivo Esport picking a spot that they will really have a tough time against that second support. Anyway though, RRMY trying to go for a snipe on, but Sad Boy actually with a takedown there. In the meantime, there we go with the rock getting tossed. Ask trying to make sure everything is going to be fine and dandy. And shield play is online. Flux now available here for Ask. Can get grasp on. There we go though with the whole TXQ4 in the meantime with that Valkyrie. And Velaray hopping around. Diana dropping on down, making sure that the contest is going to happen in CQC. And with Nightmare, Nana boosted up. He's going to be whipping out the blade, but both sides actually going to do it. Nanoblade versus Nanoblade right now. Ryochino showing them that how it's done. And the Japanese squad actually going to be getting the best cosplay of the world. The Cyborg Ninja really panning out here for Ryochino. It seems like the slashes and the dashes just wasn't enough for Nightmare. It was so close for both sides, but in the end, V3 DiabloDeathTouch just in a position to find the chains on. And they get the kills that they need. Junkertown right now being overrun here by V3 DiabloDeathTouch. They're trying to go for the push. They're trying to go all the way on the bound. RM way wide though. Infrasight now primed. Sad Boy doing the same. UAVs showing everyone where the action is. But here comes the rally from Ace and Sushi. Trying to get punched on. Sleep Dart getting tossed out to Velaray. Doesn't get too much. And this is truly the power of the Brig in CQC. V3 DiabloDeathTouch just decimating the opposition. Cracking skulls, really just bruising their egos as well. The payload right now coming ever so close to that second point. Can anyone actually touch here for the side of Daivo Esports? It seems like they're all coming from spawn, dealing with Ask. And now you have to ask me a question, guys. How can Daivo Esport actually come back into this one? Compared to earlier on, King's Row was more or less an even bout. But this time, this is all V3 DiabloDeathTouch in this fight. Ryochino though, getting cleave on, does get to Ask in the meantime with that Flux. And the Japanese squad yet again fragging outs all throughout. 4 or 5 kills on the board. Actually gonna be all 6. Team kill is there. And here comes Daivo Esport coming on back with a vengeance. Now they have the 2 tank ultimates. On the flip side, Osato as well as Ryochino gonna have their ults ready online very, very soon. This Dragon Blade might make a difference, but he might want to wait on Satuki as well. It's gonna be very safe, especially with the Nano Blade in hand. Gonna be a good way to just beat out the competition. But for the time being, Nightmare trying to go for the punch. RMY though, gonna get that takedown there. Here comes NCSM right now, going for that Flux. And TXQ4 getting the kill onto the opposing Genji. 1-for-1 trade so far. Daivo Esport having a little bit of life here, especially with even trades all about going in favor of the defense. In terms of positioning right now, this is looking really good here for Daivo Esport. They have spawn advantage, they have clear sight lines of that payload, and RMY trying to go from trick shots, gonna get taken down there by NCSM. In the end though, Daivo Esports coming back with authority. Seems like the U-bend an opportunity for them to actually get this Doomfist, the flanks that they need. Nightmare trying to go for the insta-gibbs. And honestly, the corners here on Junkertown Point 3 isn't really the furthest. So this Doomfist can get a lot of value if Nightmare is just unseen, unspotted, and unheard of. So by this point in time, it seems like the Doomfist they'll give me a lineup for the rest of the action. On the flip side though, Nanoblade in hands for V3 DiabloDeathTouch. And Satuki gonna be dropping on down. Nightmare though already engaging. And the shots keeping on coming. No rocket punch makes this Doomfist a very awkward scenario. And there you go. The stun from Ace and Sushi making a difference yet again. Ryochino with a Nanoblade able to get 2. make that 3 as V3 DiabloDeathTouch overrunning the opposition yet again. That's the problem of the Doomfist when it gets spotted and the punch doesn't connect. It's just such an awkward time to move around the map, that's for sure. And in this instance, we have Japan versus Thailand. We'll see if the AC teams can really beat those Korean squads in their own region. Zergo with the Sigma Flux. Ask, actually getting one. Sad Boy though, eating out Asian sushi. That's a good chomp there for the Dragon. A proper meal for the proper time. TXQ4 even with the Coalescence. And funny enough, you see the side of V3 DiabloDeathTouch actually hiding behind the throne. Still though, there should be enough here for Daivo Esport to hold. Coalescence TXQ4 well timed, getting clutch on. And with the Moira, letting it rip. It's gonna be up to Velaray to keep the sustain on later for this next fight. The Nana boost is gonna be such a big deal, especially if he tosses it onto that McCree. A hot hand on Nightmare. Gonna make all the difference in the world. We'll see if the Electric Boogaloo onto the Cowboy can get the square dance that we need. There's a Supercharger available here for Asata, looking to get in position to this high ground. Ask in the meantime, flying along, scouting ahead. A few swaps here and now for the side of V3 DiabloDeathTouch. And anyway, onto the conveyor belt we go. Supercharger available. Here comes the bongo jump set on up. Ryochino tossing a few shurikens all about. And here comes Setaki with that supercharger in hand. Two superchargers actually. Bongo jump versus bongo jump. Damage boost all around. Here comes Rakto cracking that shield. The payload is creeping on closer, but Daivo Esport putting up such a good fight. They are really stalling for time right now. And there's still a win condition here for the defense. It doesn't need to be kills going their way. All they need to do is hold the offense at the corner, at the spots, and prevent them from going for the full cap. From a pretty one-sided affair, it seems like Daivo Esport has refound their footing. It truly is a dance to remember right now. As here comes the Nana boost onto Nightmare. It seems like Daivo gonna be engaging first. They catch out Osato. V3 DiabloDeathTouch doesn't want to engage without their Orisa, so Ash trying to get on the way. Boosters are there on cooldown right now. And with half a minute remaining, it seems like V3 can swap things over. It's the Wrecking Ball into the fray right now. Here comes Osato though, rolling on in. Ryochino in the meantime getting a few repair packs as well. And this Nano Blade is something to keep an eye out for, as Ryochino is getting in position, trying to mark his targets, looking to see what angles of attack he's gonna go on. Flies into the air. Here comes the Flux though, and it seems like Ryochino gonna get caught. Nightmare trying to go for the Deadeye, but it doesn't connect. As Ash gets a takedown, here comes Sadboy right now with that Dragon Strike. And that seems like the Hanzo turning things around here for Daivo Esport. 2 frags on the board, but still numbers in favor of V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Fire Grenade connecting now onto Dude Rally, giving some armor. That's not going to be healing whatsoever here. Instead, it's going to be the orange bar filling up here for V3 DiabloDeathTouch. And Nightmare right now waking up from his dream. The Tracer goes down. Here comes TXQ4 getting back onto the payload, but it isn't going to pan out. The only one left, NCSM onto that Wrecking Ball, bouncing around with the Pile Driver, gets torn apart instead. And it seems like the Hammond added up to the scrap here on Junkertown. As by the tail end of that one, V3 DiabloDeathTouch with the clutch. They finish up the map, but with no time in the bank. A well-deserved effort there from Daivo Esports. We'll see if they can do one better.
Initiating match.
There we go. That's Daivo Esport that we are waiting on for, ladies and gentlemen. It has been such a good show here for Daivo. They're not playing with McCree right now. Velaray doing such an exceptional job of filling on in. NCSM as well, flexing on over back to that off tank. And hey, this is Daivo Esport showing that even with all these tech issues, they all got disconnected by the tail end of King's Row. They can still put up a very solid fight. Now the real question is, can they do one better against V3 DiabloDeathTouch? V3 having the right ideas, especially with his Brigitte. The Asian Sushi has been such a difference maker, especially on this map. Swapping over between the Batiste and the Brigitte. Solid effort so far here for V3, and they are really stable, especially with this double shield. They come back with authority, they come back with a vengeance. And right now guys, with the hero bands of the Winston, the Lucio, that Sombra, and Soldier 76, well, you can really say that speed is not going to be the name of the game of Overwatch. It's a little refreshing to not see the speed boost on and kill everyone, but as a little bit of bias, my favorite hero getting banned really hurts my heart sometimes. But anyway, here comes Hydrangea coming on at by grenade there from Setaki, gonna be able to start things off in terms of that Nano Boost progress. And still, Nano Blade gonna be the name of the game here for V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Daivo Esport changing their philosophy. It seems like they have read another piece of work. And they're going to go for that double sniper approach. Crossfire really is going to be the plan here. And Sadboy going to be able to get one 2-for-1 trade so far. Nightmare letting it rip with those storm arrows. And Hydron Gaia pushing on forward. Now the contest comes here from Osato, but he has to disengage. A lot of damage being done by the Sigma. And the Hanzo, good stun onto Asuka as well. The accretion really connecting. That Sigma trying to retreat right now. And TXQ4 looking for the top up, trying to get that coalescence as quick as possible. So by this point in time, V3 DiabloDeathTouch giving up the outskirts. Gonna be looking to contest at the gate instead. Hold the door, they say. Osato gonna be that lovable giant, trying to stay out in front. And Hydron Gate right now looking to tear things apart. Then Orisa out in front. Sadboy though actually finds the angle. Ace is usually getting taken down. RMY doing the same. And the red Widowmaker in a safe spot. But never mind. Nightmare gets the arrow on. The blue Hanzo find the opportunity. And this is Daivo Esport having to deal with the Flux instead. NCSM right now gonna get lifted up. Asuka with a good grasp on. But still it's a 1-for-1 trade. Daivo Esports. Where are they? They are on that first point. They get the capture. V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Too late to contest. With 5 minutes on the clock, a very, very confident Thai squad moving in to Junkertown. Anyway, here comes the blue hand side. Sadboy running out of that infra site, so they do know that there are going to be no stragglers whatsoever, allowing Daivo Esport to actually push on forward and take spots that they would normally not be able to do so on. Nightmare gonna be up on top of the window already. A very good spot here for Daivo Esport. Disengaging though, as they go through Kuala Express, go through that U-bend. And in the meantime, Ace Sushi, Osato all gonna get spotted. Here comes the halts. Oh, beautiful DM there from Ass. Drops on down. Make sure that the chomp is there. And on the flip side, here comes a Flux though from NCSM. Focusing fire heavily on to Ace and Sushi. Sadboy popping off and popping heads. Headshots are abound. And this Widowmaker looking absolutely impressive. 3 kills on the board. There we go with the D-Mech. And Daivo Esports just tearing apart the opposition. It seems like this might be the opening. This might be the start of something new here for Daivo Esport. They are down 2 maps right now. They have to win every single map into this series. With 5 minutes on the clock here onto Junkertown, you can really say that they are putting on quite a show here for our audience. In the meantime, guys, it would be much appreciated, especially if you could share the stream. Tell your friends that we are covering Open Division Pacific right now. As Ass gonna be flying on into the fray. In the meantime, Rio Chino now. Nana boosted up. 1 cut on board. The red hand Genji catching that one out. In the meantime, Hydron Gaia backing on to the door. It's looking really difficult here for Daivo Esport. They're still gonna go for it with the supercharger, forcing out the rally in response. Not the worst trade actually here for Daivo Esports. They can play it slow into the next one. Make sure that armor is all gone from the game. Finding a way to utilize their big time bank. We'll see if Daivo Esport can actually play the long con and play into their ult economy. Play it slow but steady, making sure that the rally buffs are going to be gone from this instance. As anyway, TXQ4 taking a nap. Sleep dart there from Satuki, treading the needle. Finding a little bit of that pixel action. Diana though staying on the high ground. Osato trying to find the opportunity to get the roll on in. It seems like we are going to see a Reinhardt here from Hydron Gaia. Trying to stabilize by that point. Looking to brawl against Ass though. Another DM actually catching out Nightmare. Second time's a charm here for Ass. 2 dragons eaten up. Not the best fan of Dragon Ball Z, I can see. Ass now onto the high ground. Nightmare as well as Sadboy trying to disengage. The bomb though connecting onto NCSM. And the Japanese squad of V3 DiabloDeathTouch just holding as close as possible. Now with the Diva though on the low ground, this does give a little bit of an opportunity for Hydron Gaia to actually march on forward. If V3 was holding a little closer than that, they would actually be stuck by the staircase. But it seems like it's all about that space being used up by Osato. The focus fire is there. Dragon Blade now in hand. Data Blade actually getting 3 kills. There's the pin, courtesy of Hydron Gaia. But Rio Chino doesn't care. He gets 4 in a blaze of glory. And the kamikaze approach there from the Genji, allowing them another hold. Now 2 minutes have elapsed on Daivo Esports attack. They still have a lot of time, but it is slowly but surely dwindling. Another sleep dart there from Sataki, slowing down the approach. As Hydron Gaia taking a nap. Fire grenade now. Not gonna connect. It seems like the Reinhardt woke up just in time. Another swap in order. RMY onto the Tracer he goes. Sataki staying on this high ground. And the Ana might get bullied here by NCSM, but that's what Raytune is for. Trans right now, courtesy of Valray, mopping up those mines. And Nightmare finally getting the Dragon Strike on, but it seems like there's gonna be no targets whatsoever. Ryochino though, gonna get baited. Sad Boy waiting up there, gonna get that takedown. The Tracer now trying to get a bully on. Who can get the shot? Osata comes on back. Good tech roll there from the Wrecking Ball. Very quickly done to that second floor. And V3 DiabloDeathTouch with another solid hold. It seems like both squads very well versed in defending on the last corner, on the last parts of Junkertown. But Daivo Esports cannot afford to be in a stalemate like this. NCSM letting those bullets fly. Nightmare in the meantime looking to come on close. And the May trying to find an opportunity here. Sad Boy in the meantime. Deadeye is in hand. And here comes the rally from Ace and Sushi. Daivo does do the stun. And Sad Boy with a 10 as well. Good counterplay here from the Thai squad. 2-for-1 trade so far. Ace and Sushi actually gonna get zoned. And Satuki, all alone in no man's land, will get taken down. The Ask is in behind. Sad Boy knows that there are flankers waiting at the wings. RMY gonna be ready with a pulse bomb as well. Very dangerous though for the McCree to be all alone against all this damage. This does give Daivo Esport the opportunity to get the push on. Back to the high ground, NCSM and Ask having the slowest duel of them all. The two Diva mechs brawling for their superiority. And here goes an Adams on the Ryochino. A little early, doesn't have the blade as of yet. NCSM right now with a self-destruct. And it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade so far. V3 DiabloDeathTouch able to hold yet again. Hydron Gaya putting up a fight even with the hammer swing onto Ryochino. But this isn't going to be Daivo Esports victory, no sir whatsoever. V3 having something to say about it and more. They have been defending for the past 4 minutes so far. But the payload coming ever so closer. NCSM at the tail end, gonna get T-Mech. And that is a huge pick off there from RMY. NCSM though can go for the swap. He just used that self-destruct earlier on. And the real question is, will he go back to the Diva? Will he do something else? Goes on over to the Sigma, goes on over back to the Diva. So we are gonna see the mech online and ready to go here for Daivo Esports. But it's a 5v6 scenario right now. Mindset on up by Osata trying to set things up for the kill. RMY though getting a kill onto the board. Pulse bomb right now, gonna be set on up. And Sad Boy catching out Ryochino as well. Mind still entering the battlefield, really slowing down the push here from Daivo Esport. Very difficult to navigate through all of these sparkly objects. And here comes the rally right now. TXQ4 brawling. They get 2 frags on the board. Daivo Esports having the advantage, and they can taste the payload. They can taste the objective. All they need to do now is get that full cap. Overtime not ticking away. They get the catch on Osato. The pin gonna be enough to outmuscle the Wrecking Ball, and this is gonna be a potential full cap here and now. But it seems like the Blizzard gonna be an add-on as Nightmare as well as Sad Boy combo things up. Daivo Esport not out of this fight as of yet. We are gonna go into round number 2. Do or die time here for Daivo Esport. Can they get this map, or will V3 be able to seal the deal and win it all out?
Initiating match.
So here we go yet again, ladies and gentlemen. We are live in this season. Daivo Esports gonna be on the attack one more time. Real question is, will it be enough for Nightmare and Co to actually figure things out? Apparently it is gonna be Osato on the attack instead. My apologies. Since they went on the attack first, they are gonna get the first attack yet again. And we'll see what Osato and the rest of the squad will be bringing to the table. Daivo, a full hold here will really put them in such a confident spot to get into a map number 4. Sad Boy though actually gonna decide to potentially play that Bastion. This is a good idea though for Daivo Esports. Very, very vulnerable, especially in this day and age. Ryan Diva not even going for the double shield. We'll see what Daivo gonna be bringing to the table. As Bio's point in time, Sad Boy flanking on the left. Gonna be holding close. Daivo Esports getting in position, but Ryochino gonna be playing the Bastion as well. Both sides reading each other like a book. Bastion versus Bastion warfare right now. RMY though does get the poop on the Valray. Hanging on behind. Good read here from the Far Mercy. And V3 DiabloDeathTouch with that first frag. Now very difficult for Sad Boy to actually get in position without the Batiste. And it's Raining Man, hallelujah, the Farah! Just getting the justice from above. And those rockets connecting all about Ryochino. Even just tearing apart NCSM by the tail end. Half a minute right now.
Not waste this opportunity.
Payload gonna be online. And it's gonna be the pirate ship set on up by V3 DiabloDeathTouch and the rest of the crew. First mate Osatsu. We also have the swab lad that is Setsuki. That's gonna be moving around the map, being the scout here, the buccaneer to say. But hey, all I know about pirates is from Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll see though if there's gonna be smooth sailing for V3 DiabloDeathTouch as TXQ4 lets it up for the coalescence. Good eye field though to buy some time. Ryochino gonna be able to transform into the tank and gets the shot off the Fellow Ray. NCSM torn apart as well, blown to bits in this instance. But TXQ4 still putting up a fight. The Moira actually clutching things out. Sadboy with a shot as well. And Nightmare right now running around the map with that Pharah. And by run, I mean fly. Hydrant Gaedo looking for the contest yet again. Stalling for time. Trying to bully the Orisa off. One good boop gonna be enough. It seems like RMY is looking for an opportunity. Looking to find a way to actually get a target or two. Resurrection though bringing back Ass to life. And NCSM trying to get on away. The Diva disengaging. Here comes RMY though, really trying to go for the chase, looking for another teammate at the clutch moment. This time though, it hasn't panned on that. V3 trying to take the win here and now. Pushing forward, trying to make sure everything is fine and dandy. And Matrix gonna be online very soon as well. Here for Setsuki, just only needs to find the opportunity, needs to find the space to actually do it on. Pulsebomb now connecting, Hydrant Gaia drops it down just in time. And all Daivo needs to do right now is force the opposition off the payload. But it would pick off there from Ryochino, gonna be enough to shut things down to begin with. With those reset, the biggest bane of them all as Supercharger set on up here by Osatsu. We're trying to make sure everything is fine and dandy. And Matrix from Setsuki, forcing Daivo to actually back on Nazi yet again. And this in this instance, it's Setsuki making it rain, doing as much damage as possible. Hydrant Gate right now. Trying to make sure that he can contest. But here comes the Flux Ask! Lifting everyone up, dropping them down. Lands in front of Sadboy right now. The McCree has to back on out. And there you go, forces the C9. Eventually Daivo Esports getting their objective calculated. And they finish up the map, giving up a single point. But it might not be good enough because they only have a minute in their own push. Can Daivo Esports win out to force a map number 4? That's a real question we are asking and more as we get back into Junkertown. Has been a solid effort so far here from Daivo Esports. Again, technical issues all abound, forcing them to forfeit map number 1, losing their ultimates in map number 2. And even with the substitutes, they're putting up such a good fight. Kudos to the Daivo squad for giving us such a gritty game. But will grit be enough? That's gonna be the real question here. As we are getting back into the action, seems like a Zen and a Batista or a Brigitte might be in order. It seems like Daivo trying to figure out how their offense is gonna go on. But here we have the Orisa and the Diva for Osato and Ask. So moving over to that Diva, it seems like Ask wants to be a more frontline player, can run around with the DM to make sure RMY is not going to get headshotted whatsoever. But with the Diva, a lot more stable to actually plop down onto that point payload, make sure he can get the contest on against the opposition. And potentially for the last time in this match, Daivo versus V3. The right hand side gonna be on the defense into this instance. V3, DiabloDeathTouch, trying to show everyone how it's done. Nightmare in the meantime throwing those arrows all abound. And Ask disengaging. A lot of respect being given here by V3 DiabloDeathTouch. Daivo, given the opportunity to clear the shanties. But it doesn't really matter, that time bank and be ticking on down. Same progress for both sides on both rounds. The real question is, can V3 DiabloDeathTouch actually capitalize on the space they're working with? Onto the right says Ask. The Diva trying to get on the way by grenade, actually clutched there from Setsuki and Ryochino with a tag onto Nightmare. Roll now into the front lines. Daivo Esports not disengaging. They are gonna go to fight. Will this be the big mistake? That's the real question. Huge fire grenade yet again. Setsuki showing on up. Nanoboost at the ready. Can't toss it over to make sure that Osato can stay alive, but no, he doesn't! And overtime not taking away. Here comes Sadboy and Hydrogea getting the frags on. Halt gonna be there as well. And in the meantime, here comes the Orisa staying on that payload. The defense still holding on. 4 members of Daivo Esports really trying their best And TXQ4 with the coalescence, keeping the beam strong. Sees the target opportunity. Ace Sushi gonna get melted on up. It seems like he's a little too raw there. And Daivo Esport apparently gonna be able to hold into this one very, very close for both sides. But Daivo right now looking strong. Looking to get this push on the gates of Junkertown, awaiting them to begin with. And the pulse bomb at the ready here for Nightmare. The real question here right now is V3 gonna be desperate to actually contest this first point? No. Playing a little more disciplined, trying to be setting on up as 6. They don't need to contest that first point. All they need to do now is stop Daivo once. The real question is, will it be enough? Biotic Orb getting tossed on over to that high ground. TXQ4 will be hopping on along as well. Infrasight though from V3 DiabloDeathTouch gonna help them out in terms of that scouting. But look behind you, surprise Nightmare with a clutch! That's 2 frags on the board, the Widowmaker and the Ana both getting taken down. That's a huge pulse bomb stick there from Nightmare. Absolutely clutch efforts there from the Blue Tracer, zipping around the map right now. Really want to go for Osato, but Ryojino with the Hero Blade, will it be enough? Getting bounced around, 1 frag on the board. Hydro J getting taken down, Valorant down for the count as well. And here comes a huge self-destruct there from Ask. This might be game, set, and match. The only one left gonna be the Hanzo, and that is gonna be the series. V3 DiabloDeathTouch takes the win 3-0. Could have been a lot closer though if only Daivo didn't have these issues.
Play of the game.
Absolutely stellar endpoints for this series. And this BO5 being won by V3 DiabloDeathTouch. The Nano Blade there from Ryojino. Ace and Sushi with huge big brig plays. And that is gonna be the show there, ladies and gentlemen. Daivo Esport bowing out. Not winning any maps, but hey, they have won my hearts, especially with how well they performed, even with all the issues to begin with. But V3 DiabloDeathTouch showing that they are looking to come back, looking to make it to those playoffs. And well, they have shown that they truly belong. If I remember correctly, that this team has been with one another for so long already, but V3 taking that victory 5-4. What a sweet way to actually end things over. But there you go, guys. Those are results. Oasis unplayed, unfortunately, as V3 did win out through the 10-minute mark. In the meantime, Kings Row taken with a 2-1. It was a pretty close battle between our two teams, and finally Junkertown going into a second round 5-4 in this instance. It has been a fun series to be able to broadcast. I gotta put my money though onto the support line of V3 DiabloDeathTouch, really showing on up with those Zen plays, with those Ana plays, with those Brig plays. Absolutely essential to allow V3 to come back and take this victory. There were times that Daivo was showing that, hey, we can actually out-mechanical you, outpower you. But there were some huge times to actually put up stopping points against the opposition. And there you go, guys. I would really commend Daivo though for trying their best, especially with their squad not being in full force. I'd say the DPS line of Sadboy really showing on up as well with some huge picks offs, as well as Nightmare with that flurry on that Tracer by the tail end. Hopefully we do see these two teams in the playoffs, and that is gonna be our round number 5 coverage done and dusted. Thank you guys for tuning on in. Thank you guys for coming into this series, and tomorrow we still have another broadcast coming your way. That is going to be the squads of Sabagod Daisuke versus Akihabara and Counts. We are able to actually broadcast them a long time before in the last season, and the Japan versus Japan matchup coming our way very soon tomorrow. But there you go, results 3-0-1 5v3 DiabloDeathTouch tomorrow, same time, starting points 8 p.m. GMT +8. It's Sabagod Daisuke versus Akihabara and Counts. But yes, that is gonna be our show for tonight. We did wait on for just a little bit, but it was truly worth the wait. An Overwatch action, hero pools, very interesting addition. We saw Double Shield to be king today. Will it be the same tomorrow? I've been Dax, guys. Thank you guys again for tuning on, and thank you guys for coming. If you want to support the stream, tune in tomorrow and share the stream in all the socials. Make sure that the Pacific scene is getting the coverage and the prestige it truly deserves, especially the teams that are still trying to make it out in the sea of Korean squads all abound. It's been a pleasure to bring you the match. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our next Open Division matchup.